my channel. Hi guys. Guess what I got in store for y'all today? Y'all don't know? Where you guys been? Chicken meatballs from scratch. So, like I've been talking about literally everywhere, all over all my social medias, and last Friday on here, I am starting to do this new like healthy journey, great lifestyle kind of thing, and I've decided to try healthier food options. And I don't know what to say. Anyways, so as I've been talking about for a while now, I started a new like weight loss journey, a new like health is wealth kind of thing. This is gonna be happening a lot. So as I've mentioned before, I want to start taking some of my favorite foods and, you know, like favorite snacks and turning them into like a healthier version of themselves. So today we're gonna do chicken meatballs. I love pasta. Like, it's so, like one day I'm gonna turn into a damn noodle. Pasta is just like one of my favorite foods. Carbs are my favorite. So like, we gonna do something to make sure I can keep eating carbs and like make sure I can keep eating pasta and still be a skinny bitch. So that's what today's segment is about. So you don't need a lot of ingredients. You're not gonna need a lot of like dishware, is that what it's called? Stuff like this. For my seasonings, I prefer to use Mrs. Dash just because it's 0 calories and it's good. So I usually like to use the Mrs. Dash Italian seasoning, but I have no idea where it's at right now, so we're gonna improvise. Today we're gonna use the Mrs. Dash Table Blend and the Mrs. Dash Chicken Seasoning. We're also gonna use some black pepper. I don't know why I did that. I usually like to use the I usually like to use the Mrs. Dash onion and herb seasoning too, but again, I don't know where that is, so we're improvising. You're also gonna need some chopped or diced onions. You can chop them or dice them yourself. I'm a bit of a princess and I don't like to do it myself, therefore I buy them already chopped. Less work for me. And you're gonna be needing some ground chicken or ground turkey. It doesn't have to be organic. I just prefer organic ground meat just because like for me ground meat is already kind of weird, so like I prefer for it to be organic. No offense to anybody who likes any kind of ground meat. Just personally, I just prefer organic ground meat, but it can be literally any kind of ground meat you prefer. Then you'll want to make sure you have so those ingredients will be for the actual meatball, which I'll show you how to combine all that and put it together and all that great stuff. You're also gonna need some low sodium Prego sauce, well, low sodium pasta sauce. I'm using Prego just because that's what I have at the moment. You're also gonna need, well, you don't need this. This is like if you want to make pasta, like make meatballs and pasta. But the meatballs, honestly, like you can just eat them on their own. And it's like, if 2 meatballs would be like a perfect like little snack. Or even you can make like a little sub out of it with like a whole wheat roll or like a gluten-free roll or something like that. If you want to make a pasta, I would suggest doing like a whole wheat pasta or all plant-based pasta, or a like zucchini noodle or one of those like veggie noodle kind of things, just to keep the calorie count down. So personally, I'm saying personally a lot, I like the Barilla Protein Plus penne pasta. Well, the Barilla Protein Plus. This is a 100% plant-based protein. Yeah, this is one of my favorites personally. Obviously, like I said, you can use literally anything you want. Another good pasta, or another one that I like is the Barilla whole grain pasta. If I'm gonna do a pasta, I personally prefer whole grain or the plant-based. It's really up to you what you want to do with yourself and what you want to put in your body. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my water to boil first, so that way the water's boiling while I make my meatball concoction stuff. I don't know why I'm really nervous today, but I'm really nervous for some reason, whatever. Like, I haven't spoke to you guys a million times before. Alright, so while the water's boiling, we are now gonna make our meatball, the meat, the stuff you put. So while that's boiling, we're gonna combine everything to make our meatballs. So again, I have my preferences. You guys don't do it exactly how you guys don't have to do it exactly how. First, you want to take a bowl, a decent sized bowl. You want to make sure that like you can like put your hand in it so you can move it around and stuff like that. Obviously you don't want it to be too short and then stuff is gonna be falling out. So make sure you have a bowl that's a decent size. You're also gonna want to have a plate with some wax paper or like an aluminum tray or something that once you make the meatball put the meat in the shape of a ball, you have somewhere to put it while you make the rest of them. I hope that makes sense. That should make sense. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so now you're gonna want to take your meat, put it in your bowl. It's kind of gross. I prefer using gloves just because I don't like getting the meat all in my fingernails, and that's just my personal preference. You don't have to use gloves. You can use your bare hands if you prefer. So I'm gonna put all the meat in the bowl. Now we're gonna season our meat. I don't have exact measurements for my seasoning. I kind of just like use my eyes. Yeah. Around a bit. Now, once you mix all that up and get it from sticking to your fingers. Once you mix all that up, now you're gonna add in your onions. Again, no exact measurement. Obviously, you don't want to put too many onions because then you're just gonna have a bite full of onion. And I mean, unless you really like onions, then go ahead, be my guest. If it's more so just for flavor, I wouldn't add in too many. Maybe just a little pinchful or two. I'll show you what I mean. So 1, not that one, 2. Add in a little more, 3. All right, now same thing. Try not to like throw it at yourself, but same thing, you just mix it up. Try to get it all together. All right, now once you do that, this is where the fun part begins. So once that's all mixed up, now you're gonna start making the meatball. So you just take some meat, doing a little circle. This part is like a little harder to do just because like it gets really sticky. But try to make a cute little meatball. Boop. And you're gonna do that until you just have a bunch of meatballs. Well, until you use all the meat in the bowl. Now, obviously you don't have to make the entire bowl meatballs. You can use this to like, you can cook the meat into like a patty. You can like cook it like this and obviously like break up the meat in the bowl, like in the pan as you're cooking it. And you can have that with the pasta. Kind of like a meat sauce, like a ground beef sauce. Trying to make my meatballs as like evenly as possible size-wise. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it works out just fine. And this is like a good recipe that you can like meal prep with, because depending on like, obviously depending on your meal plan and all that great stuff, this is like a good little snack you can have. Like I said, 2 meatballs, even if you do like 1 giant meatball with some pasta, so some low sodium pasta sauce, and that's it. Easy, quick, well, sort of quick, and pretty healthy. Well, healthier than, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure ground turkey is healthier. I mean, ground chicken or even ground turkey, because you can make turkey meatballs this way. It's healthier for you than ground beef or ground pork. I feel like red meat is maybe not be that great for you. But again, I could be wrong. So if you do know about that kind of stuff, please comment down below and let me know, because I would love to know and love to stand corrected if I am wrong. All right, on our last meatball here, once I roll this bad boy up, so I'm gonna cook my meatballs in an air fryer. Obviously you don't have to do them in the air fryer. You can do them in the oven. You can do them on the stove. I would always suggest using olive oil, whether it's a spray or the actual oil. Personally, I'm going to use the spray, and I'm going to put it in my air fryer, as I said. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using my air fryer to cook my meatballs, but you can put it in the oven, you can put it on the stove. If you're going to put it on the stove, I suggest using a bit of olive oil, like the actual oil. Just a little drizzle, kind of do one of these on the skillet to like spread the oil around, and then you want to put the meatballs around it and kind of continue turning them as they brown, because you don't want them to like cook more on one side than on the other side. If you're gonna put it in your stove, I would say get a sheet tray, baking sheet tray. You can put some aluminum foil down, spray it with some olive oil spray, or even if you take a little olive oil, drizzle it on and kind of shake it up to spread the oil around. Same thing, put your meatballs down. You can cover it just to like let it steam up. You don't want to cook it for too long. I would say maybe, I've never done them in the oven, so I'm sorry if my timing is off. I'd say maybe give it like 10 minutes and then check them. Obviously in the oven, they're not gonna get like that brown color around it. So you wanna cook them, make sure it cooks through, and then uncover it so like they can crisp up a little. You don't want, when you do uncover it, don't leave it in for much longer in the oven, because you don't want to dry them out. Keep that in mind. You want to be very careful you don't dry them out. Turkey and ground chicken can get very dry, so that's one thing to be cautious of. So I'm gonna, if you're gonna use your oven, put it on about 375, 380, somewhere in there. If you have an air fryer, you're just gonna hit the chicken feature and it should set the temp for you. But so my air fryer, it sets the timer to 20 minutes. I'm gonna drop that down to 15, and then I'm gonna check it halfway through. So I'm gonna drop it down to 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna set a timer for myself for 7 minutes so I can check them in 7 minutes and rotate them. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so I'm gonna move you guys around a little bit. I'm also sorry if I'm a little off. I can't really tell with this new tripod. I can't tell. Anyways, so I don't know where that came from, and I don't know why I just did that, but it is what it is. So what I do is I'll take my olive oil cooking spray. I feel like everything I've used today is from Wegmans. I love Wegmans. It's one of my favorite stores, as you can tell. And then I'll just take my air fryer and I'll spray the bottom of my air fryer. That's it. Now I'll take my meatballs and put them in the air fryer, and then I'll just pop the air fryer in the holder back in the air fryer machine. Like I said, I'll put the timer for 15 minutes, let it cook for 7, and then I'll flip them. So what we're gonna do is, as long as you guys don't fall over, what we're gonna do is we just take our meatballs and put them in our tray. And you want to give it space in between because you don't want it to like stick together. Around a bit. And you also want to make sure you have space because, like I said, you're gonna want to rotate these at some point. So you want to be able to make sure you're going to be able to do that. No. Again, you don't have to use tongs to do this. I'm personally just weird about touching raw meat, so I use as many things as I have to not to touch the actual meat. That's too close. Okay. So once you know everything's in place and everything looks good to go, then you just take it. And pop it into the air fryer like so. You're gonna want to hit your chicken, hit the power button, and now we're changing the timer to 15 minutes, And like I said, I'm gonna set a timer on my phone for 7 minutes so that way I can turn them in 7 minutes. See y'all soon. Alright, so like I said, 7 minutes, we're gonna turn them over. So as you can see, they're nice and fluffy. We are gonna rotate these bad boys. Alright, now we're gonna pop them back in. That should turn back on. We're gonna wait for it to go off one more time. And while that's cooking, we are gonna put our pasta in the boiling water. The pasta takes about 8 minutes to cook, so I usually do it around usually put it in about midway as the meatballs, so that way they both finish about the same time. It's up to you when you want to cook your pasta, or if you're even using pasta, like I said before. But just like I said, I'm using pasta, therefore I put it in around the same time as halfway through the... Y'all get the point. So about halfway through the meatballs, or about 8 minutes till the meatballs are done, I usually put my pasta into boil. I do this because the pasta takes about 8 minutes to cook. So as long as I put them in around the same time, like 8 minutes for the pasta, 8 minutes left on the meatballs, they'll be done at the same time, and then I can just eat because I'm starving. So with my pasta, I like to weigh it out I like to weigh it out, and I weigh out about a cup of pasta, and that's what I'll cook. Some people eyeball it. It's really up to you, whatever you prefer. So, don't fall. Sorry guys, I dropped you. I'm dropping everything. Lord. So I'll weigh out about a cup of pasta sauce. I put a cup of pasta, and I'll put that to boil, and I'll still set a timer on my phone just to be sure that like I don't overcook anything, just because I'm super OCD about stuff like that. I will see you guys in 8 minutes. So I definitely forgot to mention, I don't salt my water for my pasta. Some people prefer to salt it, and obviously that's okay. It's up to you. I would suggest though that you use a kosher salt to salt your water, or to salt any of your food, honestly. The only reason why I say this is because it's only 280 milligrams of sodium versus Morton or like another regular salt, which is 590 milligrams of sodium. That's like more than half, I think. Y'all get the point. The point is you should use kosher salt. So once your timer goes off, whether it's for the air fryer, the oven, the stove, whichever you decided to use, you're obviously going to take them out of the pan or the pot, or whatever the case may be. They should be nice and brown. Well, they should be nice and crispy brown, like that. I changed the wax paper from the plate that I had before, where I had put the raw meat on. I changed the wax paper, and now I'm gonna put the cooked meat on it so you guys can see what they look like all together. Then you'll just, obviously, you can either put the sauce directly on the meatballs, you can put the sauce on the pasta, you can just eat it without the sauce. And yeah, let me show you guys what this looks like. Can I turn this around? No. Let me show you guys what this looks like. So, my little meatballs, my pasta's there. And now, I'm gonna put this bad boy together and I'll show y'all my finished product. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if any of you guys decided to make this, which I hope you did. Let me know how it came out. Let me know what you guys think. if you have questions on like measurements or brands or whatever the case may be, like feel free to drop it below. I'll try to answer what I can. I'm obviously no expert. I'm obviously no top chef. But in my opinion, it's good. So why not give it a try? Just gonna put some pasta in the bowl. Put some pasta on the bottom. Put some meatballs on top. I'll show you guys. So, for those of you who tried it, enjoy. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Y'all are freaking awesome. Can't wait to see y'all next Friday. Hopefully I can get these videos out on time and stop slacking. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whichever time of day it is and you are in your time zone. Bye guys.